Is everybody okay that I am recording this informational session?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so we will begin. So my name is Alexander Katopis. I'm a faculty at the Counselor Education Program. I've been here for 7 years. I'm entering my 8th year in the fall. I've been a counseling professional since the mid-2000s. My research interests are in group work, clinical supervision, and entering and integrating business into practice, into private practice. Those are kind of my 3 areas of interest. I'm currently at my doctoral program at Capella University, and I teach group classes, clinical supervision classes. I also, help develop syllabi and curriculum for professional issues of mental health counseling, skills class, um, perspectives of substance misuse, and kind of other classes of that nature. So right now, for the next hour and a half, what I'm really going to do is really provide everybody with a comprehensive overview of the program. In addition to that, I want to actually identify every single document that I gave you, which is a necessary, it's a tool that will help you navigate the program. So as we mentioned in the large group new student orientation, we're giving you we're kind of giving you a general overview, and then we're getting each meeting into the granular details of the program and your kind of role and direction and pathway as a student. At the end of this meeting, I will be or not even assigning, I'll work with you on enrolling or registering for my small group advising meetings. So usually I have a large group, and then in the spring, beginning of the spring, I need to just look at my calendar. So I'm not going to multitask right now. I'm going to ask you guys, I have about 3 dates selected. I think 2 or 3 dates selected that I'm going to ask you to register to attend those meetings, because what I'm planning to do is I'm going to give you a lot of information, and I'm going to task you actually with designing your academic schedule. That's important to me. And you're going to read all the documents. You're going to get acclimated to the program. You're going to indoctrinate in the spring. You're going to enter maybe a couple weeks of your classes, and then we're going to meet again, because there might be, a lot of questions that arise between this meeting and when we meet next again in early spring, and specifically related to your academic schedule. And then from then on out, I treat everybody like adults, which you are, mature master students. And I will encourage you to reach out to me if you need any support. I usually respond to emails within 24 or 48 hours. You could also feel free to call me at the number that's listed in my email signature. I unfortunately am steeped in hypocrisy, and I don't have that many boundaries. So usually when students call, I will answer. I will answer the email. I will really be and mirror how much support that you need. But I just want everybody to know, do not expect me to sending out weekly, monthly emails of how you're doing. Not because I don't care about you, but we have quite a bit of advisees, a lot of tasks associated. So what I want to do is kind of develop and establish a relationship with each and every one of you, and then we can individuate that and kind of individualize any type of support you guys need after the small group meetings in the spring. I want you also to know that please feel free to interrupt me along the course of this kind of overview and ask questions. You could also save them for, that there is no really, necessarily end, but with the kind of presentation or overview, because I kind of weave in different documents, but just feel free. I'm pretty, laissez-faire when it comes to individual students interrupting and asking, follow-up questions or deeper questions to whatever I covered. So before I kind of start, does anybody have any kind of general questions about this process, the groups, advising, anything like that before I kind of dive into the program? Okay. And again, I'm encouraging people to speak up if you have any questions. So I will start by providing a program overview, and then we'll go to the documentations, and then I will share my screen and provide you with actually, I don't want to say a tutorial, but at least exposure to different online functions. that will be relevant to your success in program planning in the program, in your own individual program pathways. So everybody here is in the clinical mental health counseling concentration. That's my area of expertise. And the clinical mental health counseling program is a 63 credit KCREP accredited program. It usually takes, I believe, around 3 years for students to complete. Some students try to, are very ambitious and try to complete it in 2.5. You'll see as we get into the scheduling planning that it's pretty ambitious. Some students have done it, but what I say is 2.5 to 3.5 years, you should plan to complete the program. And that's really with taking, I think 3 years is taking 2 courses a semester, including the summer, and 2 of those semesters you're going to need to take 3. So just think about that, and that would probably, have you complete it in about 3 years. And then, you can kind of look at the, specific, your own course plan. I do want to mention that a full-time graduate student is that student who takes 6 or more credit hours, which is 2 or more courses. Anything below that, you're considered part-time. I want to mention that because each of you have your own kind of financial aid or out-of-pocket expenses that you should plan accordingly. Okay. So the program, the 63 credit program, really is focused, I would say has, like, I put it in kind of 3 phases. The first phase is taking your foundational courses, which are, provide you with a very general and broad overview of the foundational areas and competencies of counseling. And that really is usually applicable to students in all 3 concentrations. And it really meets the majority of prerequisites for the next phase of the program, which is practicum and more advanced courses. And then the second phase really prepares you for the third phase, which is internship and advanced courses. So that's kind of like, and I will get into the details, but if you look at it, that's kind of how I break down the program. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So within the program, we have 3 areas of specialization, let's say. The first one is family systems. The second one is substance misuse. And the third, we don't consider it an area of specialization, but just for this educational purpose, it's a general track. That's what I call it, right? Which means, right, that you have not elected either area of specialization, and it's perfectly okay. I don't know, I don't want to give you false information, but I believe the majority of students are in the general track. Now, in the 63 credit program, okay, if you choose the general track, each of you have the ability to select up to 2 electives of your choice throughout the course of the program that interest you. And we offer a variety of courses: counseling children and adolescents, spirituality and religion and counseling, Adlerian play therapy, mind-body techniques, basic family systems, advanced family systems, psychopharmacology. Those are the ones that come to mind right now. Now, for those of you who are choosing the family systems or the substance misuse area of specialization, both of the electives that are permissible for students in the general track to elect are pre-selected to meet that area of specialization's requirements, which means that your entire 63 credits or 21 courses are prescribed. You have no choice in which courses to take. Now, there are other, let's say, requisites associated with both areas of specialization, family systems and substance misuse, in your internship experience, and we'll get into that. But I wanted to kind of really segregate all 3 kind of sub pathways in this concentration. Okay. Now, my recommendation is, okay, that you elect an area of specialization within your first year of the program. And the reason that I'm asking you to do that, or I'm strongly recommending it, you guys do have permission to submit, it's called a declaration of an area of specialization form, which I shared with you, at any point throughout the course of the program. Now, the more you wait, the more you're increasing your chances of not being able to take the required course for the concentration in time for you to graduate. So if you wait 2 years and say, oh, now I'm declaring substance misuse, you might have to wait a year before you can take HC 650, right? So the sooner the better, because it will empower you to select the courses that are specifically required in the area of specialization. Some students who have delayed this process end up just saying, I'm not going to, select an area of specialization, and I'm just going to do the general track because, they don't, if you're graduating and you're projected to graduate in 6 months and you have to now extend your graduation by a year and a half because you have to wait for the course to be offered, right? You have to make that choice. Now, I want to specify and clarify maybe some of the, I don't want to use misinformation, but misconceptualization of the areas of specialization, okay? Our areas of specialization are just, and I don't want to underscore the negativistic aspect of it, but it's 2 courses and a little bit of internship experience in the area of specialization. That does not, you're not graduating with an LMFT if you take the family systems area of specialization, which is a licensed marriage and family therapist. I want to, some students come in and think that you are far from that. And you're not going to have your LADC or CCS if you enter the substance misuse area of specialization. What it does is it bolsters and specializes and really targets your competencies and understanding in family systems, okay, meaning that when you graduate, you can be a family or couples consultant, not counselor per se, because you're going to be required to have additional training, additional continued education. And if you do decide to pursue your licensed marriage and family therapist license, there is no brick and mortar university in Maine that has an LMFD program. So it would require you to go online. And I think, and I will share, I have documents to my advisees or in my classes that I teach that I provided that will require you, I think, to take an additional 6 master's courses, an additional 900-hour internship experience, and examinations, an LMFT and examination. So I just want to put that in context that if you want to work with family and couples, great. I will help you get into that concentration. And you don't necessarily need to get your LMFT to work with marriage, couples and families. But what it does require you ethically and legally, you're responsible to continue your training in specializing in marriage and family therapy through CEUs, continuing education workshops and trainings, in order for you to advertise yourself as an expert in either families or in couples. The same applies for substance misuse. To attain your CADC, you can actually, you need a bachelor's in the related field. All of you could actually go and apply, but now the laws have changed as of 6 months ago, where now you need to work in a licensed substance misuse facility and be supervised by a CCS in order for you to attain your CADC. And that is kind of the pathway to you need to get 4,000 hours under a CCS to get your LADC and then to get your CCS. So I just don't want, again, people to think that I'm just going to go in these areas of specialization and I graduate with an LCPC C conditional and all these other credentials. There is a lot more work that needs to be done, knowledge to be gained, competencies to be refined in order to advance your credentialing in either pathway. Any questions about that process?
Alice, I have a quick question. So, as far as the advantages of the specialization, it sounds like it's more for your personal knowledge gain than it is for anything really professional necessarily as soon as you graduate. Is that what I'm kind of hearing?
It is. And it's twofold, actually. Yes. And I want to add to that. If you do have an interest in working with families and couples, if you do have an interest in working with the substance misuse population or co-occurring disorders, I would encourage you to go to those areas of specialization because, one, you will have your degree in Master's of Science in Counseling, and then I'm joking, but in microfiche below, it'll say area of specialization, family systems, or substance misuse. And it also, right, I think bolsters your curriculum vitae when you go to apply to a job. Let's say you want to work at a community-based mental health agency that offers FFT, functional family therapy. Well, you're a little bit more right advantaged if you specified and say, hey, I took my program in all my electives and my 300 minimum of 300 hours of my experience, internship experience, were geared toward working with families or were geared towards couples. I mean, so those are the two those are, I wanted to add to what you just stated. It's not just for that. And I will say for both, right? If you do decide to attain your marriage and family therapist, you can count, because we're a K-CREP accredited program, you can count those two courses into your LMFT program. So that is an advantage. And if you're in the substance misuse concentration and you are employed by a mental health, a licensed substance misuse mental health facility, you can attain your CADC, right, while in the program and double dip hours, meaning you could count them towards your internship and towards your LADC hours. But you have to meet all the credentials from the Board of Alcohol and Drug Counselors. So there are advantages to that for those who really have a passion, to pursue either area of specialization. All right. So moving on. The most important for me, well, there are a lot of most importance, but for now, being proactive and creating a schedule, an academic schedule that is aligned, okay, with your outside of academia obligations, familial, professional, and personal, is essential in graduating in the timeline that you desire. So I am tasking everybody with taking the documents that I've shared, utilizing this orientation, all right, to develop an academic plan that you feel comfortable with. And I promise you, hopefully by the end of the session, you will feel comfortable at least knowing the tools to develop your schedule. The introductory, so we'll go over this, but I would encourage all of you, unless you have already taken courses prior to this program in a non-matriculated fashion, that everybody should enroll in HC 500, Orientation to the Counseling Profession, and HC 620, Counseling Theories, next semester. Those are two, for me, very important foundational courses to enroll in. If anybody else is looking to enroll in the third course, you could enroll in HC 612, Multicultural Counseling. You could enroll in EDU 600, Research Methods and Techniques. You could enroll in HC 605, Psychological Evaluation and Measurement, or you could enroll in HC 604, Career Development. Those are the other courses that I would advise individuals to enroll in. Now, for the program, we operate in traditional 15-week semesters, and we offer the majority of our courses in the fall and spring, and we offer an abridged course offering in the summer. So to pivot, we are not, and we are a brick and mortar, regionally accredited state institution. And the reason that I'm mentioning this is because I think we differentiate in a positive way from other kind of fully online, like Capella, Walden for master's program, that is Liberty, etc. Okay, University of Phoenix and all those stuff, right? Is because we offered customized, individualized student care, support, scheduling, etc. The reason that I'm mentioning this is because we do not offer all courses every semester. It's not like those big online universities that they're like, we offer every single course. You don't have to think about it. You just create a schedule and go for it. We offer certain courses each semester. That's why I'm underscoring the importance to look at the 3-year plan I shared with you. We vote on it every 2.5 years. So I shared with you the schedule from the fall of 2022 to the summer of 25 and the fall of 25 to the summer of 28. So you have to use those course plans, because whatever we write, we guarantee to offer. And I'm guaranteeing there might be a couple of changes, but we really try our hardest to because students develop their plans off that. We really try to adhere to what we write down. Okay. So it is important that you use that the 3-year course plan as one tool to develop your schedule. Okay. Most of our courses in the fall and spring are offered Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7:30. There are exceptions, like there are a couple of courses in that one of my colleagues offers. That's Friday from, like, I believe it's 3 to 5:30 or 4 to 6:30. But outside of that, the rest of the courses are offered Monday through Friday from Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7:30, either in person, online asynchronously, or online synchronously. And everybody knows the difference between asynchronous and synchronous, correct? Okay. And that really occurs in the fall and spring semesters. In the summer, we have 4 offerings, imagine, delivery methods. The full summer, 15 weeks, summer session 1, summer session 2, which are 7 weeks, and they meet twice a week for 2.5 hours. Okay. And then we have intensive courses, which usually are offered week longs from 9 to 4:30. And you get all your Monday through Friday, 9 to 4:30. And they're like Adlerian play therapy, introduction to working with children, spirituality, and religion and counseling those are come to mind that are all offered in those week-long sessions, and that's usually in like July. But you guys are all matriculated, our priority registration, so you'll be able to see the courses that we're offering when we release them. Okay, so those are the 4 delivery, right? 15 weeks, summer session 1, 7 weeks, and then intensive, right? And again, all of those courses are traditionally, right, the 15-week in the summer and 7 weeks are offered 5 to 7:30 Monday through Thursday. There are exceptions, but for the most part. Okay. So again, that's the course offerings. Now, with that being said, okay, what the other things I wanted to mention that the other tools, and I will share them with you, are the prerequisite list. It is very important that I shared that with you, right? It lists every single course Counselor Ed offers. I created a table and I shared it with my colleagues. And on the left-hand column is the course, and the right-hand column is the prerequisites that are required, right? So you're going to look at the 3-year plan. You're going to look at, right, cross-reference the prerequisite list. So you'll make sure when you're developing your course plan from semester to semester, right, you don't just put courses arbitrarily, right? You're putting courses in a sequence that meets the prerequisite requirements. Okay, and it gets even more complicated. That's why I'm here to help everybody with, right? So there's another document that I want you to look at, and actually another 3. I shared with you, okay, they're called application forms. There is a practicum application form, there is a internship application form, and there is a group practicum application form, which the group practicum is a course. Those also reflect prerequisites to enter that experience. So you guys have 3 foundational documents to cross-reference when you're designing your schedule. So what I tell students to do when you do this task, put all the documents up, print them out, however you do best, work best with, and have your schedule there. And start with the introductory courses and work your way in building the schedule, cross-referencing the 3-year plan. If the course is offered the semester that you'd like, does it have any prerequisites? And you're building, right, those courses to meet your practicum experience, your internship experience, and your group practicum course. Does that make sense conceptually? Okay. So when you look at that from a broad overview, you're going to set yourself up for success. Now, I'm going to pivot to field placement experiences because it kind of leads into like the applications. Okay. So students in our program take foundational courses, to really kind of solidify their foundational competencies. They take what I call advanced courses, right, to kind of bolster their deeper understanding of counseling skills, the application of the skills, the application of group therapy techniques, right? Diagnosis and treatment planning, all the courses that you really will kind of set you up to be a neophyte counselor in training. But you also have, right, residency experience, field placement experiences, right, to actually work, right, as a paraprofessional. All of you are going to be required to complete 1,000-hour field placement experience. And that happens at the latter stages of the program. And the reason why is because you need to develop your foundational competencies, right? You have to pass some examinations, which I'll get into later, okay, in order for you, right, to be able to work with live individuals. All right. So all those practicum and internship courses have prerequisites to make sure that we appropriately screen and gatekeep those students who are moving on to the next phase of the program. The internship or the practicum is the first field placement experience. It's only offered in the fall and spring semester, and that consists of 100 hours, 40 direct client contact hours. You don't have to write this down because trust me, we're going to repeat this, and you'll meet with me when I meet with you to place you in your placements. But that's only offered in the fall and spring. Once you successfully complete that experience, you're going to transition into your internship experience, which is 900 hours, 40% or 360 hours or direct client hours. And that takes usually 3 semesters to complete at 300 hours a semester, which equates to 3 credit hours a semester. I do want to mention that students are permitted to enroll from 1 to up to 6 credit hours per semester. You cannot enroll in more than 6 credit hours, but you are permitted to enroll in 1 to 9. So technically, you could complete your internship in up to 9 semesters, right? 1 credit hour a semester, and you kind of piecemeal your internship experience. There are students who have done it in that pathway. There are other students who try to do it in 3 and anywhere in between. 100 hours of internship constitutes 1 credit hour of your internship experience. You need 9 credit hours for your internship, and you actually get 6 credit hours for your practicum because it consists of 2 courses, HC 690 and 691, which is individual clinical supervision and group supervision, which you will concurrently take either in the fall or in the spring semester, whenever your academic plan, indicates that you do so. In order for you to maintain the course that you've chosen, meaning your academic pathway, all 3 applications are due 3 semesters or 2.5 semesters before your experience. That's before you begin your experience. And it's jumbled, but I will explain myself. That's why it's imperative for you to, again, develop a plan as early as possible, because you'll get prompts. I shared with you a template that I want my students to use. You don't have to, but it will kind of prompt you which semester to apply, right, to what experience. So I will give you a prime example. If you plan, okay, to take, I'm just giving you an example, your practicum in the fall of 25, this coming fall, right? We're fall of 24, next fall, right? And you're going to take your internship in the spring of 26, along with your group practicum course. All right. And I want questions because sometimes I confuse myself when explaining this. Okay. You would be required to submit your practicum application by December 31st of this year. The reason being, well, let me get into this. You will take your internship, right, in a sequential manner, right? So you'll take your practicum in the fall of 25, and you'll take your internship and group practicum course in the spring of 26. Your internship application is due by April 31st, 30th. There's no 31, 30th. If you miss that deadline, you are automatically pushed to the next semester. And that could deter your plans of graduating. The reason being is I only place twice a year. We don't place in the summer. I place students in September and maybe into October for placements in the spring. And I place ending of January pretty much and February for placements in the fall or internship in the summer. Okay. So what happens is you will apply, you'll fill out your application, and you will submit it to our administrative specialist, James Douglas. You received an email, a welcome email from him. All of you have. James takes that list that you check off and he cross-references it to make sure that you meet the prerequisites for your practicum, internship, or group practicum course. And then he provides me with a list, because I place students, that's one of my roles, provides me with a list January 1st, and if not January 1st, the first week of January and the first week of May, right? For all the students that have successfully submitted their application and have been granted permission for their field placement experiences for that semester. Does that make sense? So that's how we operate as a program. I cannot tell you how many students, and now they're becoming thankfully less and less. They drop the ball and they submit their application in February, and we're like, sorry, you have to, postpone your practicum. And I'll tell you where it really stings. I'll tell you where it really stings is if you plan to do your practicum in the spring and you miss the deadline, you have to wait 2 semesters because you can't do it in the summer. Right? So if you plan to do your practicum in the spring and you miss the deadline, right? The April deadline, you can't do it in the summer. So you have to move your whole academic schedule 2 semesters. So I don't care if you email me 15 times to verify. Make sure that you get that application in by the deadline. And it's a really extensive deadline. So that's why I'm really hammering this home. Yes, Amber.
I've gotten a little ahead of myself. I printed off all of the things that you sent us, and I've already sat on my bed. I would recommend doing that because I spread them all out so that I could cross-reference and then I drew it. Oh, that silly blur thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me unblur it because I feel like it just really helps me visualize. I'm sorry, I'm at work. This is not.
Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah, so I would
Great.
recommend using pencil because I've had to print 3 copies already, but these 2 were really, really helpful because they helped me visualize. And then because it has those deadlines right on there already. And so then I'm just I drew an area. I'm okay, if I want to finish then I need to draw all these arrows to apply for them. But just a tip for maybe some people who are more visual in nature. I found that really helpful. I looked like a crazy person with all the papers out on my bed, but it was fine.
Well, crazy people think alike. I do the same, and I supplied it in a digital editable format, so you can copy and paste and move the kind of deadlines around. Okay. But thank you for sharing that. And that's actually one of the reasons why I meet in a large group, so you guys could impart information to one another. Any other questions regarding the kind of we went over the scheduling process, concentrations, the field placement experiences. Okay, I'm doing well.
I'm so sorry I joined late. I had the wrong time in my calendar. I apologize for joining late.
Oh, thank you. Don't worry, Shelby. I'm tape recording this. Are you okay with being tape recorded? Because I'm going to share it within an hour of after we end with the entire group, the YouTube hyperlink to the entire video.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no questions regarding that process, the process. Okay. So you guys will have to actually take and pass 3 examinations, standardized examinations between now and when you attain your full license. I'm not even going to be talking about the last one because that's after you graduate, but I'll just refer to it. The first exam is the Counselor Preparatory Comprehensive Examination, the CPC. And I don't know if I said it right, but it's somewhat that's the acronym. But CPC is the name of the exam. All of you must pass it before you enter your internship experience, not practicum, internship experience. Here's what I recommend. Take the CPCE one semester before you enter your practicum experience, okay? But there's an asterisk. You must have completed the 8 foundational courses in order for you to be eligible to take the CPCE. And if you go on Brightspace, and I don't want to rattle them off incorrectly, but if you go on Brightspace and you go to the CPCE section folder, it will list the courses that are required for you to take before taking that exam. Okay. The reason why I'm telling you that is if you don't pass, you have an opportunity during your practicum to take it again so that you don't delay the beginning of your internship experience. Okay. There are 2 ways of taking the exam, and that exam is designed by the National Board of Certified Counselors, the NBCC, and administered by Pearson VUE. We don't have anything to do with any of the 3 exams. We just prepare students through our courses. You could take it in person, and there are 2 testing centers in the state approved in the state of Maine, in Westbrook or in Bangor. If you take it and you don't pass, you have to wait 30 days before you can retake it if you take it in person. You can also take it online if your computer meets the software and hardware requirements. But if you take it online and don't pass, you have to wait 90 days to retake it. I just want to be clear. And that's all you do it through you register through the Office of Assessment, and that's all on Brightspace. That information. After you successfully pass your courses and the CPC, you can roll into your internship experience. During your internship experience, because we're a KCREP accredited program, you'll be permitted to take your NC, your National Counseling Exam, and you will actually get a letter or an email directly from the NBCC, and the email will come to your maine.edu email account during the first semester of your internship, how to register and pay for this exam. You need to pass that exam as one of many documents that you need to apply for your conditional license. And once you attain your conditional license and you graduate the program and then attain your conditional, you'll need to take the National Clinical Mental Health Counseling Exam, the NCMHCE, in order to attain your full license. And you'll need to pass that exam and accrue 3,000 hours under a certified clinical supervisor. So that's kind of that timeline, okay, that continuum. Any questions with those exams throughout your program and even after? Okay. From now on, I want everybody to use their maine.edu email to communicate. Even if you have it forwarded to your personal account, do not, it's a FERPA violation. All academic communication should operate through your maine.edu. Sometimes, I don't know which ones, I'm not that savvy, but some email platforms, if you forward, they don't forward. Some emails, they don't respond. Like, it's kind of quirky. My advice is only, separate your business, your personal, and your academic, and use your email, because sometimes we send Brightspace announcements that are sent in email. James will send emails directly, and students miss that. So every communication from now on will be at your maine.edu email accounts. And I really, I am strongly recommending to only use that for communication with, counselor education matters. Any questions?
No, Alex, real quick. I'm just looking at the notes that I'm taking.
Yeah.
And now that we're talking about the internship and the process and things like that, when you say the program takes between 2.5 to 3.5 years, is that including the internship or is that just credit hours?
Nope, everything, including internship. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Correct. All right. At the end of the experience, at the end of your program, you're going to take an internship seminar class concurrently with your internship experience. And at the end of your internship experience, meaning after you surpass 800 hours, each of you are going to do a capstone. It's not a dissertation by any means. It's a capstone called the portfolio. And I've shared with you the portfolio format, which really synthesizes the work that's going to be required of all of you to do that. I don't want you to focus on it now, but I want to expose the students to what's to come. And really, it's a reflection and synthesis of all your program experience, certain artifacts, certain assignments, and how they influenced your professional identity, how your program experience and your internship experience shaped your professional passions and disposition, etc. And I've shared that with you. And you could ask me questions, but also your HC internship instructor will guide you through that process, and you're going to see your peers that are graduating present their portfolios. The second thing I wanted to mention is I created a document called the Field Placement Checklist, which is a one-page document that provides a compendium of information regarding the practicum and internship experience, just so you're exposed to it even before, right? Because you're a couple years out before you take your practicum and internship experiences, just so you could understand clearer what those entail and what that entails. That's also a friendly document that you could pass out to, community providers or agencies or whoever that are not approved sites. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Lastly, and then I'll begin to share my screen. So all of you are in an in-person program, right? The clinical mental health counseling is in person. Now, it's in person. I'll put it in really italics or quotation because it's a hybrid. We've selected that 25% of the courses must be conducted in person. And I shared with you a document about which specific courses you cannot take online. The rest of them, we try to offer it as best we can in an equitable manner, online and in person. But please plan, at least I feel, to take probably half of your 21 courses in person. But the ones that are required are HC 626, 621, 627, 690, and 691. And those are reflected in the documents I shared with you. So those are required. So just plan on taking it in person. And we want to be transparent. Some of you are far, some of you aren't, but this is not an online program, a fully online program.
I'm sorry, Alex, could you list those classes again?
Oh, sure. Those classes are 626, Group Process and Procedure, 621, Counseling Skills, 627, Group Practicum. And please don't confuse it. It is confusing. Group Practicum is not, there is an outside of class component, but it is a course. It's not, it has an out of class experience, but Group Practicum. 690 and 691 so 691 is individual clinical practicum supervision, and 690 is practicum seminar group practicum supervision.
Okay. And these are going to be the ones that are fully in person, no online live option or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Correct. Okay, I will share my screen and we'll go over the documents. I'll go over some of the online, areas I want to focus on, and we'll wrap up. Can everybody see my screen? All right, so these are the documents that I shared with everybody, okay? These first three are the applications to practicum, internship, and group. Oh, well, I want to start by saying, all of these documents, besides my template, because I created it, and I shared it with, I think, a couple of my colleagues, but all of these documents are on Brightspace, okay? They're uploaded on Brightspace, and we'll get to that. It's a common online folder for the counseling program. So as I told you, I'll just open up the practicum application. It's a fillable PDF, and as I told you, you'd put your name in here. It tells you the courses that you have to take before practicum or concurrently with. And so as you're developing your schedule, this is one document that you should have open. And this would go to be sent back. I think he has his name, maybe he doesn't, but you'll email it back to James Douglas. And we also put the dates, the application deadlines on these forms. And it just triggered me. If anybody wants to work with children, you must take the HC 622 course prior to your field placement experience, which is counseling children and adolescents. So if you choose to take the family systems area of concentration or area of specialization, you'll have to take, most likely, right, one more course. So instead of 63 credits, it's 66, because you have to take 650, 670, and obviously children are part of families. So you'd have to also take 622 to work with children. So this is the practicum application. The internship is very similar. You'd fill this out, select the semester you'd like to take it, and see it has our different concentrations and what are required courses that you need to either take before or during or concurrently with, and you send that to James Douglas. And the group practicum application follows suit. You would fill this out, you have prerequisites, and then you'd send it out to right there, counselor.ed@maine.edu. This is the prerequisite list I told you. So I'd have those 3 documents open, the prerequisite list and the course plan. And you'll see that we have all the courses. I have them from, in sequential manner from 500 all the way to 697. And you'll see each course and, whether it's matriculated students need to, which all of you are, by the way, or, if you need program permission, meaning to take it prior to a prerequisite. So it literally will list all of the prerequisites and requirements. This is the list that this is the document that I shared with you, which basically this is, if you're in its accelerated graduate pathways, that's you don't have to concern yourself with that. But this is what these are the courses, right, that I mentioned that are required in person. This is the declaration of counseling area of expertise or specialization. You would complete this. You'll send it to me. I will sign it and I will submit it. I will send it back to you and you would send it to James Douglas. Okay. And this would be to add it or to drop it. These are the 2 schedules. This is, we kind of advanced it, but you guys are at the end. You guys are right here. So this is the 3-year schedule. This is the spring and summer courses. And as you can see, we list all the courses that we offer each semester. They don't tell you though, the days and times. And that's when we release the course schedule, then you're going to know. So that's why it also comes to mind, or to tell you guys, those who are very ambitious and try to take 4 courses, you might not be able to, not because you can't, is because there's going to be overlap. Like 2 of the courses that you want are offered at the same day and time, right? So you have to do your best to be able to be, flexible and malleable. If when you make a schedule, you might need to make some adjustments along the way. We try our best to kind of sprinkle through the week foundational courses versus advanced courses, but there have been some scheduling conflict. And then we advanced our 3-year plan. See, we've advanced it, making sure that we identify how many sections are going to be offered, whether they're online or in person. And right here, we just want to put a bullet, right, that the course delivery might change, or we might add or deduct certain sections due to enrollment. But for the most part, it's a little bit more, I think, comprehensive for students to understand. And again, it lists all the courses that we will be offering from the fall of 25 all the way till the summer of 28. This is the portfolio format that I told you at the end of your program. And it tells you this is what the portfolio will consist of. And again, I just want to expose you to that requirement. And I actually always share with you the portfolio rubric, which is actually what your HC 686 internship seminar instructor will use to grade your portfolio. So you could actually see the assignments that are going to be due, and the fifth one is of your choice. My recommendation, save every single assignment. You might need to refer back to it. So this kind of gives you a little bit more of a understanding of how we grade and what assignments are going to be needed to be reflected on during your portfolio presentation at the end of the program. And this is the field placement checklist I told you about, a one-page overview about our internship and practicum requirements. This right here is the CPC NC guide. So it's a one-page guide, or sorry, two-page guide. And it tells you the left-hand column is the process of which you need to apply for your CPC and the process of applying and taking your NCE. And here we have all the kind of registration process, the different pathways, how you pass the exam. We have, right, our current scoring, our base score is 76. We have all of these kind of what I just mentioned about the criteria of passing and waiting if you don't pass, and then all of these kind of different pathways to take the NC. So, and these are, by the way, again, all in Brightspace. I developed this clinical mental health program guide with two of my former students, and I shared this with my advisees. I've also shared it, I think, with my colleagues as well. You know, again, you say current, we developed in the summer of 23, but it's really developed and designed by the students. And the students really did an exceptional job in developing this. And so it gives you all their kind of, you know, from a student perspective of how to navigate the program and each of the phases that we call it. As I told you, phase one, phase two, and they have a third phase, right? And they give you all these different resources for licensure, applications, and they even give you a sample course plan of how they kind of developed it. So there you go. That's really a useful tool for you guys to have. So these are, I think I reviewed. Oh, yes, sorry, I did not. I saved the best for last. So this is my, what is it called? My template. I started in the fall of 24. I need to update this to, you know, I have to change the years, but you guys get the point. It's from course 1 all the way to course 21, right? 21 courses, 63 credits. And you see that it's 1, 2, 3.5 years if you're taking 2 courses a semester, and 1 semester you take 3. That you'll complete the program in 3.5 years. So just to, you know, to frame it. Now, these are meant, anything in asterisk is meant to move it to the semester in accordance with your own individual plans. Does that make sense to everybody? So I tell you here, attain student liability insurance before enrolling in 621. So please don't just think they're static. If you're taking 621 in the summer of 25, you have to move this here. Does that make sense? You're going to copy and paste it. Submit application, right? 3 semesters. So remember what I said. If you're taking practicum in the fall, you need to put it here. You need to submit it by, right, by December 31. It's for group practicum, for internship. Practicum field placement establishment meeting with, I'm now the field placement establishment field placement coordinator, 1 semester prior to experience. So if your practicum's in the fall, when would you meet with me? I'm putting it out to the group. When do you think you would meet with me? If your practicum's in the fall of 25, where would you move this?
That's 1 semester prior. So if it's in the fall, you would do it the semester before that. But I would assume you have to do it in the spring.
Who said that?
Lily, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. You're absolutely right. We don't place in the summer, so you would put that, you are absolutely correct. You'd put the practicum field placement in the spring of 25 because we don't place in the summer for the fall. Correct. And see, registered to take CPC prior to entering practicum experience. So if you're taking your practicum in the fall of 25, this would be here in the summer. Ensure to attend telemental health training. It's conducted during the first week of the fall or spring semester. So you see, right? so to Telemental, I didn't tell you about practicum. This is practicum. So you have to take it during your practicum along with. So if you're starting your practicum in the fall of 25, you put this here. You must take the telemental health training in order for you to deliver telemental health counseling services during your practicum and internship. If you don't, or you miss that training, you can't deliver telemental health until one of two things happens. One, you search to find an outside training that meets our programmatic criteria, or two, you attend the next telemental health training whenever that's offered, either the spring or the next fall. And then internship field placement establishment meeting 1 semester prior. And I say you receive an email from the MBCC, right? Your first semester of internship. So you put that, your first semester of internship. And I tell you, take the NCE examination your second semester, and then apply for graduation final semester. And you could even put your anticipated graduation date. If you design this and follow this, you should really have almost no issues with graduating in the timeline that you set. So with this as the epicenter of your academic lives, all these documents are supporting you developing that plan and finding out about the program. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Once
just
we,
have-
once we, com- oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, once we complete the schedule, do we have to submit it to anyone, or we just go in and register ourselves?
Oh, you go in. I want you to register right after this meeting. I would encourage you by tomorrow, end of business, to register for your spring courses. That's because you'd have to register. You'll register, and I'll show you guys a couple of things that I want to bring to your attention. But yes, let's just start by saying, please register for 1, 2, or 3 courses in the spring by tomorrow, end of business.
I know you mentioned the declaration of expertise, and then in the orientation on Tuesday, it was said that there's just like really no wiggle room if you are wanting to do that as far as the courses you take in credit hours. So when do you suggest is a good time frame to submit that declaration of expertise?
Spring semester. If you know you want that submitted spring, because you'll see if you want to take family systems, you have to take HC 650 and HC 670, which are offered once a year in the fall in a rotating manner. So 1 year at 650, 1 year at 670. Sometimes Adele, who's teaching both of them for now, will make exceptions to the rules because we don't want you to delay, that you could take 670 first and then 650. But you will also need to take 622 because you will work with children. I mean, right? It's oxymoronic that you're going to work with families and not with children, right? So you could just send me the declaration at any point in the spring, and I'll sign it and get right back to you.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, Leslie, you had a question.
Yes. So I'm sorry, this is just a physical question about registering. And I don't know if you're going to cover that, so I don't want to ask it if you're going to talk about that.
No, sure, ask it. I might not.
Okay. I just accepted because life. And anyway, I just accepted and I was just going in to register. I was able to search, but wasn't able to actually register. I'm just wondering if there's like a grace period between accepting and then being able to physically be able to register.
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I don't believe so. I think right after you accept, you should get your access, your email access to try to set up a username and password for Main Street. But I don't believe you should. But here's what I want you to do, and this is good for everybody. Bear with me real quick. I'm going to give you James's email, and I want you to contact him, because just in case you can't, for whatever reason, if you guys are struggling or find a challenge to register, James can override the system and register for you at least for the first semester until you figure it out. And that's his email.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah, I actually was wondering, I know you have to submit your immunizations before you can register. And yeah, I have like a slight delay because I need to get my tetanus shot. So I'm wondering if there's any delay with that, if it's okay if I wait till like next week to register once I have all those
Yeah,
immunizations
yeah,
approved.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't. I just want you to check it off the list, but sure. I mean, you could literally register from now all the way until the ad drop period in the spring. But I think that proactively to get enrolled in the courses is good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Great questions. Anybody else? Yes, Mackenzie.
Um, can you hear me? Just want to make sure. Okay. I know the past two questions have been about registering. One, I did not find that I needed to load my immunization records before registering. So you can do that ahead because I was able to register for classes. And two, one of the reasons if you already are on Main Street that you might not be able to register is because under tasks, you have to sign like a disclosure form, and that puts a hold on your account before it'll let you actually, like, you can add them to your wish list or your shopping list or whatever the verbiage is there, but you can't actually add them until you accept and sign a form in Main Street is what I found. That's all.
Thank you. See, look at this. That's why I love having you guys here because you could see. I thought it was you needed immunization records to register, but if you don't, there you go. Thank you. Really, I appreciate that, Mackenzie. That information. Anybody else? Okay. I will share my screen again. Couple of things I want you to go and so I imagine I don't even have them bookmarked, but University of Southern Maine academic calendar, you should please bookmark this page. Don't do what I just Google it all the time, but if you go here, you could go to the academic calendar. It's really important because then you can see, like, for instance, the spring. I'll give you an example. You can see all your days off, when classes begin, the ad drop period of 12 weeks or longer, which is you, meaning that you won't be penalized if you add or drop it, a course. But here it is, what I want you to see here, priority registration for the summer. If you want to take summer courses, you guys are permitted to register for those classes 5 a.m. I don't know if it's 5, but it's early in the morning and students really have a rush to register. You could register by March 3rd. And probably by, I would say, beginning to mid-February, you should have the access to the course schedule through Google. Okay. And you'll see your priority because you're matriculated graduate students. And then you'll see right here, see, priority registration is March 31st. You can register for your fall classes. So I just wanted it, and you can see last day of classes. It's really great. And then you can see again the summer schedule, right? We have it laid out right here. So good thing to access. Office of Graduate Studies. If you guys want GA ships, like, I'm giving you an example. I'm looking for a GA next fall. You go here to you can contact them, you can go, but right here is all the graduate assistantships. So you can literally click on the graduate assistantships and they will tell you, see, it's right here, the listings of all the graduate assistants when they're for. Okay, some of them are for half a semester for just the spring. So I'm just saying right here, and you can submit right there. But it's good to know they provide mentorship. It's a good connection for graduate students. That's another site that I would really encourage you to visit. The next is I'm going to go to my Main Street account. Sorry, I have a fingerprint ID. That's where you put your password and username and password, and you'll log into your account. My account, I think, is slightly different than yours because I'm a faculty, but I want you to just see, like, right here's your Launchpad. We have your USM email, your Google Calendar, your Google Drive. We have Microsoft OneDrive. They're all FERPA encrypted. Your Brightspace, there's Kaltura and Zoom. I don't know if anybody heard, but Kaltura is kind of Zoom on steroids, where you can do it's like a robust kind of platform where you can kind of play back videos and comment within the video. It's pretty actually interesting program. Your Zoom account, and you have all access to wellness, and all of this stuff is right here, like all the resources. You also have your Main Street account. You have your own your kind of student center. I can't click on it because then I'm going to show you information of my advisees. But here's where you would look up your classes and all that good stuff, and your address and all that information that you have. Right here, USM Quick Links. There's other resources that you can kind of utilize. Another thing I wanted to mention is library reserve room. So you'll see they're purple because I access them all the time. If you go to USM Library Reserve Room, we have study spaces at the Portland campus, you have access on the Gorham campus, and you have access on the Lewiston Auburn campus. And you can literally go here and reserve a study room as long as you're a student and it's open. So you just click which campus you want. You go to study room and look, you have access to the calendar and you can just reserve rooms, literally, if study rooms for whatever you need. It's important, I think, to know. Brightspace is your platform where this is like the epicenter of your online course delivery. So you'd click on here, you'd go to, in this portal, obviously you're part of Southern Maine. And then you'll see my courses. These are all the courses that I teach. But right here is what you've already have access to. It's resources for counselor education. And then this is from my perspective as a faculty, but these are courses. These are like where your online courses will be delivered in the sense of all the material, information, etc., will be provided and taught through this Brightspace platform. But if you go to counselor education resources, any announcement, these announcements also kick to your USM email. So you can read them here, but you also will get an announcement in your USM email. Okay. Like for instance, I posted this that, hey, I updated the approved field placement list. I update it twice a year, once in September and once for January 1st. And it's right here. And we do have a list. I don't know if I can download it, but it's on Brightspace. But if you look at it, I have a list of all the USM Counselor Ed approved sites. And then you can see whether they host internship practicum and if they're approved for family systems or substance misuse. Here's the list. It's all for clinical mental health, school counseling students, and you can access that on Brightspace. If you go to content, this is where you guys will be living in. And these are all like welcome to the counselor education program, our handbook, program timelines, code of ethics. I think I uploaded all the code of ethics right here. We have, and all the forms that I shared with you, right, are also in here, but you have getting liability insurance, approved site listings, your practicum, your CPCE guide, your group practicum application, your internship sites, these are GRS classes that's I'll finish off with that, but your portfolios, graduation, all of any type of forms. Now, I have some hidden stuff that you guys can't view, but other than that, all of the information and resources for Counselor Ed will be right here in the content, okay? And these are like tabs, so if you click on it, it's going to bring you to all the information within that tab. It's called a module.
Can I ask a quick question about that? So as a pathway student that is taking graduate courses this semester, I can't see that yet in Brightspace. Do you know, is that because I have to finish up with the undergraduate piece before it'll fully show me that? Okay.
Correct. You have to be a fully matriculated student to see that. Okay,
so that should be, and by fully matriculated, will that technically be next semester?
When are you graduating?
In the spring.
Yeah.
So I was accepted to the program this semester, so I'll be kind of doing both next semester. So should I be seeing it next semester, maybe?
You should be seeing it next May.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And then for you, you'll see, right, that it's like this is applicable information then, right? Give me a second. right? You already know the pathway, right? Like you have to take these courses now that you're accepted, right? Your list B, you could take up to 6 courses, right? 18 credit hours.
Right. Okay.
Yep. And these are all the approved AGP courses.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just real quick, I'm also a pathway student, but I do have access to that. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Can you,
I was like, I don't want to out myself and lose access, but I have it.
No. I want you, if you do, no, you won't lose access. Our systems, as you can see, are glitchy. Emily, reach out to James Douglas and ask him about that because I thought that you have to be, but again, sometimes what I tell you is wrong. I thought you had to be fully matriculated to have access to the counselor ed, but I might be wrong. Or James might have to manually put you in. There might be a process that has to occur. But if Amber has, you should be able then to have access to that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because when we applied, we obviously applied for spring, but since we're still in our undergrad, we had to like switch our matriculation to fall. And so I'm wondering if that's why like I was granted access almost immediately. And so but then obviously after the fact was when my matriculation changed to fall instead of spring. Does that make sense?
Did you switch your matriculation to fall?
It was automatically done because my undergrad wasn't going to be finished until spring.
Oh, that's why. So you switched your matriculation to this fall?
So no, fall of 2025, because her and I are both graduating in the spring, but we had to apply for spring for the graduate program. Does that make sense?
I got it.
So, I just wonder if like it automatically uploaded and then got switched around and then, yeah.
I would just say, Emily, yeah, just reach out to James. He might be able to just quickly add you to that.
Yeah, I'm glad we talked about this because I think I put myself as matriculated in the spring. So I'm gonna have to double check to see what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the wrong thing, but thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. I'm gonna save give me a second. I'm gonna have to multitask. So sorry if I'm looking 2 ways here.
Actually, this is a question for Mackenzie. I'm trying to find the tasks on the login and I can't find it.
Okay, so it's on the dashboard section. So if you're on Main Street, it's on your dashboard. I don't know how to explain to get there, but it kind of, if you're familiar with like Canvas, that's what I used in my undergrad. It looks like that. And it's where you would typically sign up for classes. Anyway, like it brings you to that if you're looking at class schedules, but there's a spot that says my information and there's a drop down and there's to dos, which is the immunization record, which like I think you just have to have that before the beginning of in-person classes, but it doesn't actually put a hold on your account, but the tasks do put a hold on your account. And I think you have to agree to the financial terms and conditions. And then there's a liability waiver as well that we all have to sign that I think actually put that hard hold on your account that keep you from being able to actually sign up for the classes. If you still have a hard time finding it, I can send you like a screenshot of it, like to your school email, if that would help you.
Oh, you're great. No, that's helpful. I was just like started clicking like every icon. So no, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I have a couple of dates that for the small group advising meetings, and I'll send you guys Zoom invites like the week of that. So just please put it in your calendar. So give me a second. So I have Friday, January 31st, an 11 a.m. time slot and a 1 p.m. time slot, and they last about an hour or ish. It could be shorter depending on the questions. Anybody is available or has time?
Sorry, can you say those again?
Sure. Friday, January 31st. I have an 11 a.m. to noon or a 1 to 2 p.m.
That one would work for me.
Which
Misty.
yeah, sorry, I have to Misty. Which one would work for you?
The 31st, the 11 a.m. one.
All right, bear with me. Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yeah, same for me, the 11 a.m.
Sorry, Shelby, what's your last name?
It is Troiani.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else on that day?
Yeah, go ahead and throw me in.
At the 11 a.m., Rich?
Yeah, that's fine. Last name is Wood.
Thank you.
And will this be online as well?
It will be Zoom, yes.
Okay, I can also do that.
I'm assuming you're gonna throw out an invite, right?
I will the week
Zoom invite.
of that, the week of
Okay.
January 31st. Yes, I will. Usually I only have up to 4, so that closed for 11 a.m. Does anybody have anybody at the 1 p.m.? If not, I'll move on to the next day that I'm gonna hold them.
I can do 1 p.m. that day, Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, okay?
That should be fine for me too. Heather White.
Thank you, Heather. Did I get did I miss anybody?
I still need a slot. I was curious what the
And
other.
Amber. Oh yeah, and Amber. Okay. No, I still, yeah, give me one sec. My calendar is 14th of February, which is I think Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Same 11 and 1.
I could do 11.
Yeah, I'll do 11 on that day too.
Has anybody not gone? Okay. So I wanted to just kind of part by saying your task between now and then is one, to have a very peaceful, restful holiday break filled with self-care. But the next thing is I want you to develop your academic schedules. And then that's the primary kind of mission. And then any questions that kind of unfold between now and then, you definitely can reach out to me, email or call me between now and then. But again, just know that we're going to be meeting. And then after those meetings, I am going to, really empower you for your own autonomy as a student to reach out to me in whatever capacity that I can help. Okay. Just don't feel that you're alone. All right. Any last questions? Okay. Well, thank you all for attending. And again, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.